All right, good morning. It is just a little bit after 8 a.m. on Thursday, August 21st, and you're listening to the PNW Today program back for a new academic year, streaming on WJOB JED TV as well as WJOB and JED TV podcasts. So I am Cale Wilk. I serve as Communications Specialist in the Office of Marketing and Communications at the university. And what better way to go ahead and start out our new academic year by bringing on a couple of our wonderful senior leaders from the university. We have Chancellor Kenneth C. Holford and Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs Marie T. Mora joining us this morning. Chancellor and Provost, thank you so much for joining the PNW Today program this
Thank
Thursday.
you, Cale. It's very exciting to be here today. I know we've got a lot of things to talk about. Things are going very well at the university, so I think we're happy to be here and share what we're up to.
Excellent.
Yes,
And
we're
Provost, how
very
about for
excited.
you?
Yeah, exactly. We're very excited to be here, looking forward to launching our new academic year. So excited to talk about some of our exciting initiatives coming up.
Excellent. Oh, and I always have to comment. Provost always has some of the best blazers. Always on par with the color scheme there. So great job. Let me just run through a few quick upcoming events. That folks have them down for their calendar. Definitely got to shout out Homecoming Sports Fest is going to be coming up on Saturday, September 13th, and that's one of our annual campus traditions that we have, where members of the community as well as the PNW campus community have the opportunity to see up to 8 of our athletics teams that are going to be competing. We got men's and women's soccer, men's and women's tennis, softball, baseball, and our ice hockey teams. And they're going to be having competitions between noon and 5 p.m. Bunch of the action happening at Dowling Park in Hammond. If you want to learn more information for tickets as well as for VIP information, you can visit one of two places. Go to pnw.edu/sports-fest or visit pnwathletics.com. Excuse me. And also, of course, speaking of athletics, a bunch of our fall sports are going to be getting underway. Before we were getting into the studio here, we were just lamenting about men's and women's soccer and those teams getting under action. So if you want to go ahead and mark your calendar, early September, men's and women's soccer, they're going to be playing against Lewis, Quincy, Truman State, and Winona State. So again, pnwathletics.com, that's the place to go to find out information on all things PNW Pride Athletics. And last but not least, I also do just want to shout out that there's an opportunity to see at least 2 more concerts in the Acorn Concert Series hosted at Gabus Arboretum at Purdue Northwest. And it's always a great opportunity to be able to come out to the Arboretum, a very picturesque natural setting, of course, with restored prairies and woodland landscapes, and to be able to, of course, have a nice evening with a family-friendly setting with nature and music. And what's also great is that the Acorn Concert Series does the proceeds help support the maintenance of Gabus Arboretum at PNW. Again, 300 acres of restored prairies and woodland landscapes. Beautiful place. For more information, pnw.edu/Gabus-concerts. So again, for anyone just tuning in, we are previewing the new academic year at Purdue Northwest, and we have Chancellor Holford and Provost Mora joining us in the studio. Of course, both of them have a wealth of knowledge to be able to share the high-level view of what's going on in the higher education world and at the university. So what I want to go ahead and start out to begin our conversation is to gather your perspectives on how you describe to different folks that you meet about the value of a Purdue University Northwest education and the impact that we have for our area.
Well, Cale, I'll jump right on that one. And I want to make a couple comments about previous things you said. First of all, this time of year is a beautiful time of year to visit the Arboretum. It's really fantastic out there. And you also mentioned Fall Sports Fest. I believe our brand new women's flag football team will also be doing an exhibition during that same day. I don't think they're playing a game, but I think they'll be out there in an exhibition. It's been really exciting as we've entered into this fall semester. Students started moving in last week, or earlier this week, I guess. Athletes came in first, and then many of the general student population have been moving in over the last couple days. It's exciting to see our students back on campus again. We're within a couple enrollments of having one of the largest incoming freshman classes that we've had. We're very excited about that. And so I think your question is about, well, why? And I think that people are looking at the value and return on investment, what our value proposition is at the university. And I think that that is something the provost and I and our faculty and the staff at the university have been heavily focused on. It's the attainment of a high quality, meaningful credential at the university. And at the university, we've taken a lot of measures to make sure we're remaining affordable and accessible. And so we kept our tuition prices down. We've created a university environment with more than, and I think what it gets to is students want a complete college experience. We're seeing that with higher demands for the residential facilities. As a matter of fact, as you drive by campus now, you'll see the new dormitory going up very quickly, hopefully open by next fall. More and more students wanting to live on campus and be part of the experience. So I think what students are really looking for is high return on investment, and I think that we have a great proposition there. We kept our tuition prices low. We're producing meaningful degrees. Those are resulting in employment in the region and beyond. We've done a great job of that, and as a consequence, we're seeing more students from outside, from Illinois in particular, wanting to come in and get their degree at Purdue Northwest. And I shouldn't limit it to Illinois, because now we're serving students from multiple states and multiple countries coming in. But along with that, what they're expecting is an experience, an enriched university experience. And we're taking a lot of strides to provide that, from the way we're modifying our facilities to make student-friendly facilities. You see that in our newly renovated, the Nils building, for example, that we talked about a couple years ago, most state-of-the-art bioscience building in the northern part of the state, to what we've done in the classroom office building, CLO, with the renovation in particular of the whole first floor dedicated to a student experience, to what we were talking about a couple minutes ago, expansion of athletics to provide opportunities at NCAA Division II for students to continue competing at a high level. As a matter of fact, we'll have over 550 athletes, closing in on about 8% of the campus population, able to continue to compete. And then on top of that, I think the total was somewhere close to 100 clubs and organizations on campus for students to get involved in. And so I think that we're offering that at a real value. Our success rate, our retention rate among students is very high right now. We're creating a lot of satisfaction amongst the students. So I'm droning on a little bit, but I think that we've paid particular attention to detail about what students are wanting when they come to a university, and making sure we're providing those types of enriched experience on top of the value of the degree itself and the fact that they can be attained really at a low cost.
Absolutely. And thank you for all of those different points. And some of those we're going to unpack even further as we get more into our conversation. Provost Mora, how about for you? What are you seeing in your conversations with people about what you're sharing for the value of a PNW education, as well as what students are expecting out of their academic experiences on campus?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, and the Chancellor hit a lot of the highlights, but one of the things that we want to continue to emphasize is how accessible we are as an institution. We're affordable, we're also flexible, and we want to make sure that we're talking with industry leaders and community partners in terms of what degrees and skills and competencies that they're looking for in terms of our future workforce. And so that means that we also have to be adaptable as we continue to plan our curriculum and work closely with employers in the region, and also hearing from students what it is that interests them.
Absolutely.
Cale, I have one more point I want to throw in on this one that I'm very excited about. I really think, we went through a year of strategic planning. I think the provost is going to talk a little bit about that was very engaged with the community focus. I think, number one, our campus community put students first. And I think that's an important attribute of the university. Our faculty have done an exceptional job of engaging our students. And when we talk to the student body or survey them, frequently one of the things we hear are the relationship that the faculty has with the students. They're truly providing an enriched educational experience. I love hearing alumni come back and talk about faculty members at our institution that took extra time with the student and really impacted their life or helped them through a challenging situation. So I really think our faculty is truly dedicated to the success of our students, and I think that's a bragging point, and it has been a bragging point for us for many years.
Absolutely. Thank you both for some of those early comments here to talk about, that high-level view of the value of a PNW education. So, exactly, Chancellor, to your point, talking about the really student-centric approach and what you both of you have mentioned earlier about the strategic plan. So that implementing that is one of the highlights as we go into this new academic year. So I wanted to be able to, of course, hear your comments about a couple aspects of the strategic plan. So with the values, they form a lovely acronym called RISE, that we have an institution that embodies respect, innovation, it's student-centric, and demonstrates excellence. So can we unpack those different values and what they mean?
Yes, and that's an excellent question. And one of the things we want to mention is that last year we had a very engaged strategic planning process that involved literally hundreds of stakeholders, faculty, staff, students, and also community partners. And one of the beautiful things that came out of it was to articulate our institutional values, which, as you mentioned, does have, it spells out a very nice acronym, RISE. Now, the S is student-centric. That is actually our focus of the university. But again, I've mentioned at other places that SIRE is not as uplifting as the word as the word rise, so we're sticking with rise.
Yeah.
But the idea with respect, which is the R piece, the focus of that is that we want to make sure that when people come to our campus community, that they feel welcome, respected, that everyone is valued, everyone has a place. And so we feel that respect is all-encompassing of that. And it's respect regardless of which position people have, whether they're just coming in to visit our beautiful campus or visit any of our parts of our campus, to our students, faculties, and staff. So we felt that that was a wonderful word to capture quite a bit of an important aspect of who we are.
Excellent.
And then as for the I, we have
Yes.
innovation. And so as part of the Purdue University system, it has been well known for its innovation, as has Purdue University Northwest. And so we want to make sure that we are looking at innovation essentially in everything that we do, whether we're talking about a curriculum, and again, being flexible and adaptable, meeting the needs of workforce demands, but also innovation in the classroom, innovation for our students, and so thinking about projects and experiential learning that students can be involved with, to our faculty and staff as well. And then the S for student-centric, and we've hit on that in terms of students need to come first, and they have to be at the focal point of everything we do. And then excellence, that's one of my favorite words, and just thinking about excellence needs to be interwoven in everything we do, not just thinking about like we may have excellence awards, but we're not doing excellent work just for the purpose of being recognized, but it should be embedded as part of our campus culture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Cal, I want to add to that. When we something we've talked about amongst the senior leaders, and certainly with the deans and department chairs, is the idea if a student interacts with it, touches it, experiences it, it's certainly a priority for us. And that's one of the things that's helped us avoid sort of mission creep of the university. We're really focused on that student experience and their success and their educational opportunity. And so those become, in our strategic plan and beyond, a question we ask frequently when we think about, well, what's next for us? Well, what can we do that a student is going to see, interact with, touch at the university, and therefore that becomes a priority for us at the institution.
Excellent. And of course, there are some goals that are implemented with the strategic plan that will help guide us. And a number of these do relate to the values that both of you have helped expand on. One thing here that I also did want to be able to tee up for you to be able to speak on is strengthening community and global partnerships. So one of the great things about Purdue University Northwest is not only the relationships that students and faculty and staff members are growing together while they're on campus, but also some of those meaningful relationships that are happening with the community members that neighbor us around Northwest Indiana and beyond. So can you talk about the importance of those aspects too?
Well, I'll lead that off again. For the last 20 years or more, we've been very engaged in the communities around us. As a matter of fact, my favorite topic to talk about is always the faculty-sponsored research that is going on campus. And the reason I think that's been very successful is our faculty are interacting with businesses and organizations that exist in Northwest Indiana, that are important to Northwest Indiana. And we've got a rich history of more than 2 decades of doing this type of applied work, whether it be in the steel mills or at NIPSCO or the BP refinery, all the way down to when we walked in here this morning, seeing interns from our university, former graduates of our university, working here at JED. So I think that's, again, been a focus for us, and it relates back to the importance of the student experience, but not just within the campus community, looking at how that impacts the businesses and organizations around Northwest Indiana, and looking for ways to continue to support, refine, innovate, be a good partner of the community.
Excellent.
Yeah, and really the communities should benefit from having a university in their backyard, and we take that role very seriously. And so thinking about as the region itself is changing and evolving and taking itself to the next level, we're part of those conversations. In fact, we're leading a lot of those conversations, and that's a very exciting aspect in terms of the relationship that our university has with the overall community especially at this pivotal time as it's evolving.
Absolutely. Speaking of being a leader, in previous conversations that we've had this summer, when we look back on some of the wonderful progress that Purdue Northwest has made, I know that both of you like to be able to talk about how we are above and beyond some of the different peer institutions that Purdue Northwest might have. So what points do you like to be able to share with community members to be able to emphasize to them? So I know that sponsored research, for example, was one of those points of pride. But what do you like to be able to tell community members to really paint the picture for them about why Purdue Northwest is above and beyond some similarly sized institutions?
Well, and I need to not steal the thunder of the provost here, but one of my favorite things to talk about is the impact the university has in the community. Who we're working with, how we're working with them, what we're doing in that I branch of RISE. And again, it's my hope that our entire campus community will look and know those values and can articulate those values to the community when we speak to them. But in that innovation branch, the sponsored research activity, and I'll explain why I think this is important, but the sponsored research activity is an all-time high. Our faculty are doing an amazing job of innovating. They're doing really, really incredible things. And that resulted in almost $17 million in grants coming into the university in the last year. And again, the vast majority of that work is done with organizations around us. It is not just projects taking place within the university, but those have a real impact. And I think that we are the type of institution as a mid-sized public where all of our students have opportunities to engage in those projects. Freshmen coming in, it's great going through Civis and seeing freshman engineers engaged in meaningful projects with the organization around us. Our scientists, our young scientists, are really engaged in cutting-edge research. And again, when it comes down to impact, as a university, our campus filed, I think, 10 patent applications
10,
last year. So that's Purdue Northwest having an impact at a very high level, and our students getting those unique sorts of experiences. And so that I pillar in RISE, I think, has really been important to us, and it's something I'm really proud of. And when I talk to potential friends of the university, one of the things I'm encouraging them is think about what your problem is with your organization or some challenge that you've come across. And don't be afraid to come talk to us at the university, because we have incredible students, incredible faculty that have great ideas that actually could have an impact in your organization if you choose to partner with us.
Right. Yeah, and the chancellor did mention. So he mentioned nearly 17 million. It rounds to 17 million. It's something like 16.998. So basically $1,800 shy of 17 million. So we said we could write a check for that amount just so that we could have that round $17 million. The chancellor mentioned a very key point of that. A lot of this research is applied, and many of the faculty who are overseeing these projects are also involving students, and many of the projects are also involving community members. And so, to me, it's always a win-win-win because it's like the faculty are innovating and doing great work, contributing to knowledge, but also contributing to the community, and then the students are getting this experience. And then when we consider that a lot of our students are from the region, when they're doing research and other types of service activities in the community, it's not just benefiting themselves and adding to their own knowledge base, but it's also contributing to the community, so the community also benefits.
Excellent. Well, thank you both for some of these wonderful comments to help, again, give that high-level view of what it's looking like at Purdue University Northwest, what the future is looking like, at least for what we can say and predict for the immediate future for our university and for Northwest Indiana. Let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit here in our conversation. So speaking of the different students that we are bringing in, as we head into this new academic year, again, we're looking at some good enrollment numbers and steady enrollment again for a consecutive year, good student retention for our first year college students now transitioning to their second year. And also, I did want to be able to tee up to be able to help you both be able to speak on some of the top local high schools that are also having students that are choosing to come to Purdue Northwest.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for asking that question, Kale. Again, I think I led with this saying, we're closing in on 1,800 new freshmen coming into the institution, between freshmen and transfer students coming in. And one of the things that we're seeing is increases from a lot of the local high schools around us, and substantial increases in some cases. In high schools like Lake Central, Munster, Crown Point, we're really seeing substantial increases in the percent of their graduating class coming to Purdue Northwest. And I think that comes back to experience and environment that we've created. I mentioned before the circle, the radius that we're recruiting from is broader. We're still training, I think, 75 or 80% in-state students, which is part of our mission goal. But we are attracting students from farther and farther away. And even within the region, we're seeing some modest, in some cases, other cases, large increases in enrollment from the graduating classes of high school. In past years, we've talked a lot about demographic cliff. Fewer high school students today means fewer college students tomorrow. I think we've positioned ourselves well from that. And even though we're seeing declines in some of the sizes of graduating classes from high school, we're seeing actually increases in the number of students from those high schools choosing to attend Purdue Northwest.
Excellent.
And I think it reflects a lot of the services that we provide our students, in addition to being an accessible, affordable, and meaningful education. We also have a lot of other support services to make sure that students have the quality and enriching education that is all-encompassing, as opposed to just people just go to class and then go home and study. We want to make sure that when they're on campus and off campus that they have some great experiences. And then, thinking as we're constantly looking at ways that we can improve, and we'll be announcing tomorrow at the Year Ahead a new student success hub that will be an integrated and coordinated effort across the university. So we're very excited about having this hub and network to provide better support for our students. We have one of the most diverse student populations in the state of Indiana. A lot of it reflects our local communities, and we want to make sure that, again, going back to the R as part of our values, that when students are here that they're supported and everybody is treated with respect.
Absolutely. And thank you both for your great comments on that. And exactly, just to echo your point, one of the great things about a PNW student experience is that you definitely are not alone. as you go through your educational journey here at the university. Not only do you have the great relationships with your faculty members that you're taking classes with, but if you need help with advising, if you're a first generation student or a low income student, or if there's anything where you find that you're struggling, there are multiple services that are available on campus and staff that are eagerly waiting to be able to help you to get you back on track or help you feel confident as you continue your journey. Speaking of some of the great academic resources, Provost, let's tee you up here to speak on some of the new academic programs and curricula that are added to the catalog for this year. So AI is definitely one of the big discussion points, of course, and our Masters of Social Work, for example, too.
Yes.
But go ahead and take it
Yeah,
away.
and actually those are examples of being very attentive to the workforce demands of Northwest Indiana and the region overall. Everybody, I would say, maybe not everybody, but most people have been aware that AI has certainly surged in terms of the work that we're doing, work and also pleasure and leisure, that we need to make sure that as an institution of higher education that we're providing opportunities for students to get hands-on experience with AI, and also to have more advanced knowledge about AI to be able to take into the workplace. So to help meet those needs, we had a soft launch in the spring of a new master's degree in applied AI, and already for this fall we have more students than were initially anticipated, and so we think that's very exciting. And again, it's a signal of how the curriculum that we're providing, the programs that we're providing, the opportunities that we're providing are relevant to our students and also to the community at large. In addition, in our Department of Computer Science, we have a new concentration in AI that's launching, and so it's another opportunity for students to be able to get that hands-on experience that they'll be able to take into the workplace. In addition, we have a new master's program in social work that is launching this fall. We have our first cohort, so we're very excited about that, and again, that program is also designed to help meet the needs of our overall region. And then thinking about going back to our awesome faculty, we have a wonderful Center for Faculty Excellence under Dr. Emily Hickson, who provides, that center provides a lot of opportunities for faculty to make sure that they continue to evolve and be able to develop to meet the changing needs of the workforce. And so they've been doing a lot this past year in terms of AI, and even had a faculty fellow for AI who provided a lot of professional development opportunities for faculty to be able to use AI in the classroom and work with students.
Excellent. And so, and again, circling back to some of the foundational talking points here, that one of the hallmarks of a PNW education is that there are going to be a lot of these very contemporary and relevant topics that are going to be positioned for students that way, so that when they do enter the workforce, they are going to have a good personal and professional foundation to be able to make an immediate impact and hit the ground running right away in their careers.
And Cal, if I can jump in.
Sure.
In the past year, the provost and the deans of the colleges have looked to strengthen these areas for us. I think we've added 3 or 4 faculty that have expertise in AI. This is really the contemporary topic that more and more people are becoming aware of, but more and more people are also looking for, how does my organization use this? So we're strengthening this area of the university. And I know we're probably slated to talk about it later, but I want to take the opportunity to talk about a facility we're partnered with the city. We're developing in downtown Hammond, the Roberts Impact Lab. And the Roberts Impact Lab will have a big focus on commercialization, but will include areas like cybersecurity, which is a strength. Cybersecurity education is a strength of our campus, with a strong nucleus of faculty in this area, both in scholarship and education. But we're adding to that artificial intelligence growth up to and including, it'll be a quantum-ready facility, and we're looking for our opportunities to join the quantum network, and so to be at the forefront of what is going on in AI quantum technology, with a facility just a few miles from campus right downtown in Hammond.
Yeah, and I'd actually like to jump in on that because we talked briefly when we were covering AI, but also we're very well aware that quantum is just around the corner, and so we're excited to be part of the leadership in the state to be be looking at ways that we can learn more about quantum and also do a lot of applied work with quantum. In fact, this past year, we launched a new student organization, and this was actually on demand by the students that they came our Department of Computer Science and said they wanted to have a new student organization for quantum, and so it was launched. It's called Quantum Leap, and that's again under our Department of Computer Science. Dr. Grace Yang is the department chair and has also been listening to students, and so we're excited to have that as an opportunity for them.
Absolutely. Speaking of standout faculty, so when a PNW student comes to campus, they have so many wonderful academics that they can glean knowledge from. Numerous awards and accolades that have been earned by a good number of our faculty members just during this most recent academic year, as well as during this summer. If you'd like to be able to share some of those highlights, please take it away.
Yes, thank you. So in our Department of Physics, we have Dr. Nidhi Parashar. We were delighted that from the American Physics Society that she has been named as a fellow, which is one of the highest recognitions that faculty or individuals in the whole physics industry can get. So we were extremely delighted and very proud of her. A lot of work, and so we're not surprised in the sense because we know she does such amazing work, but we are delighted that she was recognized as such by her national organization. In addition, Dr. Julia Rogers was just named a fellow just a couple of, was it maybe last month, for the American Academy of Nursing. And so again, it's another high recognition for the high quality work that our faculty are doing. And then just within the past couple of weeks, Dr. Magesh Chandramouli was named as a Fulbright specialist. And so another great national and international recognition that we have for our faculty. In fact, with Dr. Chandramouli's recognition, this is the fourth consecutive year that we've had our faculty winning Fulbright Awards and being recognized as such. And so, again, that taps into some of our international opportunities that we have.
We talk a lot about the hidden gem
Yes.
In Northwest Indiana, and I really don't want us to be hidden anymore. Our faculty are really exceptional. The provost has just given some of the recent examples, but we've had numerous faculty at the institution in all of our colleges winning national or international recognition for their contributions. We have a very high-quality faculty that conducts very high-level scholarship at the institution, and quite frankly, we probably don't brag about it or talk about it as much as we probably should, highlighting all those from the various units that really are exceptional leaders within their field and right here in our backyard in Northwest Indiana.
Absolutely. And just to echo these great points, I can certainly say that for any of the folks that you're mentioning, like Dr. Rogers, Dr. Parashar, Dr. Chandramouli, whenever I have the opportunity to be able to speak with them, they are so excited to be able to share examples of how they are taking students, whether it's in the classroom space or like Dr. Parashar is, helping students get involved with research with CERN, the great hadron collider that's based in Switzerland, and she takes regular trips to be able to go and conduct research there, but it opens up opportunities for students to be able to also contribute to that research or to be able to just have some of that experience with other professionals from around the world. So the doors are opened to our students through these different faculty members, and that's so wonderful for them to be able to provide those experiences for our students. So shifting gears a little bit, we, of course, did mention some of the very exciting facilities and space updates that are happening. So as Chancellor Holford mentioned, if you're driving along 173rd Street in Hammond, you've probably seen this summer the progress that is happening with Calumet Hall, our new student residence hall that we are excited to be looking to open in fall 2026. There, we talked about the main zone and the continued work that is going to be happening with developing that space with the Student Success Hub. And there's been a couple great classroom space updates that have happened in the Powers building with an multi-purpose computer lab space and a wonderful state-of-the-art microbiology lab space in the technology building on our Westville campus. So,
Kale, I was waiting for you to say, what are my things I'm most excited about in the year? Well, first of all, having the students come back is very exciting. When you see all the students starting to move in and you know that the start of classes are right around the corner. But things I'm most excited about, we dropped them at different points. The new dorm going in very rapidly. It already looks cool. Some of the infrastructure's up already. I brought up the Roberts Impact Lab in downtown Hammond. This is 2 consecutive years of building new labs on our Westville campus, and I think that we'll be doing a ribbon cutting next week, or I believe on the new Absher cell molecular lab over at Westville, which really looks outstanding. But just the year before, we had renovated the anatomy and physiology lab on that campus, really to benefit our nursing and science students that are training over at the Westville campus. We just did the ribbon cutting, so our students will be returning soon to the Sori family computer lab in the Powers building. We did the ribbon cutting with the family. It was excited to hear the stories. They have 7 Purdue University degrees, 6 of them for Purdue Northwest. So it was exciting to have the family come in and share with us their experiences and why they were contributing back to the university. That will be one of the largest computer labs we have, and we map how frequently classes are used. Starting on Monday, that classroom will be used 36 hours a week just by one college. Right. There are 2 other colleges using that room. So we know that there will be more than 350 students starting the first week of classes utilizing the brand new spaces we have on campus. I'm very excited about those because I hope that is a reflection to the students how important they are to us. And we're constantly striving to improve, build new facilities, and we're receiving philanthropic support to do a lot of those projects based on people that were at the university as a student that whose lives were touched, who received the assistance and support they needed to be successful, have gone on and become very successful, and then now giving back to the university to make sure the next generation of students is having even a better experience.
Absolutely. And I think that also, of course, circles back to one of the great points in the strategic plan, that enhancing quality of place, that's both at the university as well as how we are contributing to Northwest Indiana. So I do want to also just tee up the question, and I'll tee it up for the provost. So when there's significant capital renovations or updates that happen to our campus spaces, what does that help provide for the students when they're able to experience state-of-the-art facilities that enhance their learning, and how does that help augment their career preparation?
Right, that's an excellent question, and it does tie into some of our other points that we mentioned earlier in terms of making sure that when our students are graduating, that what they're learning in the classroom applies to like real-world examples, and that they can hit the ground running, I think was the phrase that you used not too long ago, Kale. And so when thinking about our computer labs and also our other facilities that the students have, they're able to have the state-of-the-art experience in the classroom to make sure that, again, they're graduating with state-of-the-art skills and can hit the ground running in terms of fitting right in with respect to the jobs that are available and the jobs that the local industries and industries more broadly distributed are looking to hire for our students.
Absolutely. Chancellor, at the ribbon cutting, are you going to give a demonstration on the teaching microscope in the in the microbiome lab?
Probably not. It's been a few years since I've been in a lab, Kale. But again, as the provost said, I think one of the things we're proud of is training students in labs and with equipment that they're going to find out when they take a job out in an external company. I've talked with you on this show in the past about things that we've done in the engineering and technology areas. So we're training on the same pieces of equipment they're going to use when they move out into a company or industry around us. And I think that's an important aspect, that experiential component has been core of the university. That's something else we've been talking a lot about, improving the experiential learning component, and that is the outside of the classroom experiences. So you're learning the knowledge component within the classroom, but then what are we doing to provide a true unique experience, whether that be an internship, co-op, some other sort of experiential learning, but also providing those experiential learning components within the campus community itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I could also jump
Go
in
ahead.
terms of when we think about our facilities. It was mentioned, the Nils building was mentioned earlier, but just our nursing simulation labs are also second to none in the region. So they're very amazing in terms of the equipment and again the training that students have in that area as well.
Yeah, that is not set up
Yeah.
like a traditional classroom. It actually looks like in the first and part of the second floor, like a hospital suite with doctors' offices, with holding rooms, with and again, this, as the provost mentioned, the simulation rooms that students are trained in before they go out and see live patients are really fantastic.
Absolutely. And just to add on to that, I remember that one of the very generous donor gifts that has supported the College of Nursing most recently was adding on to that simulation equipment to be able to provide. We have a number of different mannequins that our College of Nursing faculty are able to set up with different scenarios, but now there are also going to be mannequins and apparatuses for labor and delivery and child health as well that students are going to be able to get a great experience from. Shifting gears a little bit as well. So we've talked a little bit previously in this conversation about athletics. Our student athlete population continues to grow. And of course, one of our points of pride is that these student athletes are absolute rock stars in the classroom. They have had multiple consecutive semesters of 3.0 or higher collective GPA. They are having wonderful individual and team accomplishments on the field, on the court, on the ice rink. What are both of you most proud of with our student athletes and looking forward to?
Well, and I think I share this frequently when I talk to people outside of the university, walking through FRC outside of the gymnasium, looking at the academic accomplishments of our athletes. And I think we're on 19. The athletic director will probably text me in a minute, but I think we're on 19 or more consecutive semesters with the cumulative grade point average of all athletes on the campus above a 3.0. We have multiple NCAA academic All-Americans. The number of athletes with 4.0 grade point averages is just crazy high. And that's disciplines all across the university. And they compete at a very high level. We're starting to rack up the number of championships we've earned, both individual as well as team championships. But they truly are a group that are exceptional leaders, getting leadership skills, and really helping us generate a very positive culture. And I would also say I think we're one of the leading universities in number of service hours to the communities as well. And so just all around, I'm very proud of what we're doing in athletics because it's enhancing the general campus population as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll echo that
Okay.
in terms of we're just so proud of the athletes, not just what they're doing in their sports, but also how well they're achieving their academics. And so the academics piece comes first, and the student athletes embrace that. And then the chancellor mentioned too, just the vast amount of community service and engagement with community partners is amazing, including with our local schools.
Absolutely.
K through 12 schools.
And these are such great students, and I want to say, for most of our student population, they are balancing multiple priorities, depending on the different circumstances that they have in life. But definitely a big kudos to our student athletes. They are balancing a very tight schedule with their commitments that they have to their sports, as well as what they have in the classroom, community service. If they're honors college students, for example, they are really some shining examples for us.
Yeah,
on
and
campus.
it just occurred to me, the Dean Schwartz will probably be upset if I don't put a plug in for all the activities our honor students are doing at the university, really civically engaged in. And again, I think that our honors college grew again this year. It's representing over 600 or 700 students participating in the honors program. And again, you're right, they're balancing multiple priorities. They're staying strong academically. Much like our athletes, our honor students at the university are heavily engaged in the university, balancing multiple priorities and really shining academically at the institution. And we're certainly proud of that as well.
Yeah, and even, for example, the city of Hammond, I think it was last fall, it was sometime last academic year, recognized our honors college for their community engagement, community service.
Absolutely. So big shout out to Dean Swartz, Debbie Bachman, and our honors college students. Keep up the great work with all the awesome things that you are doing. We are getting near to the tail end of our program, so there's a couple other talking points that I want to be able to tee up for our guests here. Chancellor and Provost, just a little bit earlier in our conversation, you were mentioning the impact of philanthropy that has on our institution. So can you help explain the significance of how that has benefited our institution with some awesome Purdue Northwest Day of Giving dates in our most recent academic years, gifts that come throughout the year from friends of the university and alumni that want to be able to give back to the institution, and what that means for the relationships that we have with them?
Well, thanks for teeing that up. And again, I'm going to jump right in it and say gifts to the university, philanthropic gifts, make a huge difference. A lot go into scholarship. And I think that we are aware that many students staying in, again, are balancing family life, in some cases family, trying to stay in school, maybe working. As a matter of fact, we know most of our students are working 20 to 30 hours per week to be able to stay in school. Those scholarships are incredibly important. And I think people frequently think about, I'm only in a position to give $10 or $25. Well, those types of gifts make a difference because collectively they may be what is required by a student to be able to stay in school and have a life-changing experience post-graduation. We've done very well in the philanthropic area. Our institutional advancement staff is really fantastic, and we set some records last year for us. You'll hear me speaking at the end of last year and this year about changing students' lives starts with us, and that means all of us. We have the ability through philanthropic gift to change an individual's trajectory or life. And it doesn't matter the size of the gift to the institution. Last year, I think that our internal campus population had about a 40% increase in the number of donors. I think that is even true of external donors to the university, really increased. I mentioned before some of the new labs that we're opening on campus are the result of generous gift of former alumni coming back that appreciated the experience at the university and want to enhance it for future generations. So philanthropic gift has put us in a position to do many of the things we're doing. I mentioned before the Impact Lab in downtown. That was because of a very generous gift of one of our alumni that we're able to build this AI quantum facility in downtown Hammond. So philanthropic gift make a big difference for the university, especially with the changing financial landscape around most universities. And I also, while we're talking about this, also want to mention Purdue Northwest is a very careful steward of the resources that we receive. We're very sensitive to how and where we're spending money, and I mentioned at the start of the show, if the students touch it, interact with it, it's a priority for us, and the funding, a lot of the cases, is directed to things that will have a direct impact on a student's experience and success at the university.
Yeah, and that fits into going back to our strategic plan, and now that we're moving into our implementation phase, which I'm very excited about. And so making sure that we keep that student-centric focus on all the initiatives that we'll be launching through our strategic plan, and making sure that our budget is aligned with our priorities.
Excellent. And just to echo both of your points, and really, any gift that anybody is inspired to be able to make in support of our students, every little bit means a lot and goes a long way for our students. So if anyone goes to pnw.edu/giving, you can see all the multiple different ways that your gift is able to make an impact for our PNW students. I do want to circle back just quickly on the academic side, and forgive me that I didn't tee this up before, but Provost, I know that you wanted to be able to also talk a little bit about some of our new academic leadership in some of our colleges that have recently joined us.
Yes, thank you. And we're very excited that we have two new deans who joined us this past academic year. Technically, we had Dr. Jose Sanchez, who started May 1st. He is our new dean for our College of Engineering and Sciences, has hit the ground running, already fully engaged, meeting with different community partners, industry leaders. So we're happy that he came on board when he did. He came on even a little bit sooner than we had initially anticipated, because he wanted to make sure that he didn't lose any time. And then Dr. Richard Sever, who has joined us as the new dean of the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences. And same thing, he started July 1st and has just hit the ground running, and been out there in the community and just making sure that he's meeting with all the stakeholder groups. But I will say that even before he started, he was already setting up meetings on our campus and meeting with folks in the community, and so that was also a very good sign, because he didn't want time to lapse by the time he was appointed as dean, and then when he first walked in the door. So he was able to hit the ground running because he had done a lot of his prep work before starting on July 1st. So we welcome them both, and we are launching a search for a new dean of our College of Business. In fact, that search will be chaired by Dean Sanchez, who is a new dean, but again, heavily engaged already on campus. And it's important for us to think about how does engineering and sciences also fit with our College of Business. So there'll be more to come on that search.
Excellent. Thank you for being able to share a little bit more on two of those folks that have joined us at the university. And I will just echo for Dr. Sever. I just remember on our most recent PNW Day of Giving, he came to join and with the celebration of some of the chess events that were happening on campus there. So yes, both of them, certainly, I've had the pleasure to speak with them, and I will say they have definitely hit the ground running, and we are excited for what they will be providing for their respective colleges in the year ahead. So while we just have a few more minutes here before we wrap up for this program, I want to position one key question as we start our new academic year. What advice would you like to give to our new and returning students as they start out?
Oh, I love that question, Cale. I've actually been walking around during move-in day, talking to the parents and students as they're carrying the stuff up to their rooms. And what I would advise a student is get involved. Get involved in a club or organization, or get involved tutoring or peer mentoring at the university. Take advantage of the full experience that you can have. Engage students, do better. They're more immersed in the culture and community of the campus and have a more enjoyable experience. So I would say, don't sit in your dorm room and play video games. Come out and get engaged in the campus community, go to athletic events, get involved, try out for an athletic team or one of the many co-curricular opportunities. We have one of the club teams or clubs or orgs that are going on that spark your interest, and you'll find other people just like you that share those same interests, and in many cases can build lifelong friendships. Take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Although I will say, though, if you are on our esports team, please do keep your skills up.
Oh, yeah, yeah. In that area, we want you to be.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Provost, how about for you?
Yeah, I have a few pieces of advice. One is just very, very practical, and that is students, your faculty have office hours. This is time for you to be able to go and ask questions, talk about the class material. That time is designed for you, and so make sure to take advantage of it, because a lot of times students don't realize that time is set set aside by faculty to be able to answer one-on-one questions with students. So I encourage you to take advantage of those. And even if you don't have specific questions, go and introduce yourself, get to know your faculty member better. Faculty want to help. We have, as we mentioned, a very engaged faculty who are there to help serve, and they want you to succeed. So please take advantage of that. Also, more generally, if you are having an issue, don't hesitate to ask for help. We have a lot of resources on campus, including a wonderful counseling center. In addition, as I said, faculty are there to help. If you are wandering down a hallway and perhaps you might be lost, don't hesitate to ask for help there as well. We want to make sure that everybody feels supported when they come to our campus. And then I will also piggyback on what the chancellor said, and that is to get engaged. We have a lot of great opportunities on our campus, not just inside the classroom, but also outside. And so take advantage of the opportunities that we have to offer, because it does provide for a more enriching college experience, including we have really grown our study away opportunities.
Yeah.
In fact, this past year, almost 200 students were involved with study away for different trips, different projects, and that was almost a 60% increase from the year before. And so, look for those opportunities too. And many times we have some scholarship support that can help students. And I guess in terms of thinking about international travel, we just recently received under Ramesh Neopani, who's our director of international programs and partnerships, a new grant from the Institute of International Education that provides funding for up to 25 students to get their passports. And so sometimes the passport itself is a barrier, and so we want to make sure that we have those opportunities. And I was so excited with it that I also pledged support from the Office of the Provost to be able to match up to another 25 students to get their passports.
Excellent. Well, thank you both for those great words of advice for our new and returning students, and of course for the wonderful wealth of knowledge that you were able to share about all the wonderful things that are happening at Purdue Northwest and what we're excited for as we start this new academic year. So that's going to round out the PNW Today program for Thursday, August 21st. Again, you can catch any of these shows on JED TV as well as JED TV podcasts to be able to hear all the latest updates that are happening at Purdue Northwest. We're excited for the many other topics that are going to be on deck in the coming months. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you later in September. Take care.